Welcome back to So This is Thailand and Expert Advice. You know, we talk a lot about pets on here because they're so important with our lives. But I know we actually haven't covered some of the questions today, and one of them is kind of a myth busting, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to like this part.
This is going to be good. So with us today is our resident expert for everything pet related, and that is Associate Professor Dr. Nantarika Jansu, who is the, faculty at the Veterinary Science Department at Chulalongkorn University, and also representing the Veterinary Practitioner Association of Thailand, or VPAT.
Yes.
Well, we did mention in the beginning this is kind of a two-part series. One, we wanted to cover all the myth busting, so I think we actually pretty covered that. But other one, we've covered a lot of our four-legged friends, all the care and the ones with the feathers and whatnot, but haven't touched too much on our aquatic buddies out there, so the fish, the soft-tailed turtles and whatnot. What's the best advice you can give to care for fish and other animals in the water? And especially when you're buying them, because I know from personal experience, sorry I have to say this, but if you buy them from JJ Market, they come back with all sorts of parasites, and within a couple of days they die.
Yes.
So how can we make them live longer?
This is my specialty, aquatic animals. So it's my experience for over 25 years working on this, telling me this. First, when you decide to buy the fish, do not buy on impulse. Okay, so you have to be thinking really hard, like, okay, I want to have this fish. What do I need? Okay, this is the type of pond I need, this is the food I need, this is the environment I need for this fish. Then you go to the market or even usually they have farms that you can find them. Because you have no choice, you have no knowledge whatsoever what this fish been through, but you're really in love with this, like love at first sight with this fish. You gotta take it home, okay? I would recommend that we can give the anti-parasite drug for baths for at least 2 weeks. You need 2 weeks before you actually have them clean. So in my fish in my house, I give anti-parasite drug for 24 hours. I change the water. And then second day I give antibacterial and just leave the antibacterial on for every other days, and then give the anti-parasite again every third day, like this, doing this 3 times.
Wow.
And then after 3 times you will have about 4 days more. Just keep the fish in fresh water. In just regular water you're gonna raise him, and to make him recover from all these drugs that we give him. And then I think mostly after this is so-called quarantine, your fish should be kind of healthy. But you should be able to select the healthy fish from the market also.
How do you know if they're healthy?
First of all, you have to know what's normal. Then you know what's abnormal. If the fish is flashing, it's called flashing. That means if it swims like this and go like this, that means it's itchy.
Oh.
So trying to scrape themselves on the side and things like that, you can suspect that this might have parasites. Or you see a lot of mucus in the water. A lot of mucus means something irritating them, so they're giving out a lot of mucus. Then you might be able to guess maybe there's parasites.
Oh, right. You see, I never knew that.
More dangerous than parasites, that if you look on the white side, and then you see red spots, like not red as pigment, but red like bloody.
Okay.
That means they might have bacterial infection.
Ooh.
So
Just do a good inspection first.
Right.
Now, I know, especially for fish, we tend not to only have one breed, one species of fish. How do you know which species can coexist together, and how much space does one fish actually need to be able to live comfortably?
It depends. It varies with species. But what you can calculate is that first, if your fish eat, it's so-called carnivore, like eat meat. Okay, you do not put with other little fish that maybe will be their food. That's the first rule. So usually we put carnivorous fish together with carnivorous, so you can feed them easily, and then you can put the herbivorous or fish that eats plant together. That's the simplest way. If you want them to coexist, you must feed them well, so no hunger.
Right.
Because I had this call, doctor, I said, what's wrong? I got this new disease, fish cut in half. And it's like the silver carp. And I went there to see, oh, really, fish cut in half. Many fish cut in half. Then there's a big red-tailed catfish in there.
Oh my
It's like,
goodness.
That will do it.
Sashimi.
So as I said, you must have knowledge before you have these animals.
Right. So what about if you're overprotective and you overfeed? Is there a danger? And just, okay, so that you don't starve and eat each other, or just going to give you lots of food?
Yeah, the lots of food, they will not eat it, and the water quality will be deteriorated. So in Buddhism, we say medium way. So do everything in moderation. Yes.
I know some of the trends that you see out there are trying to, whether it's a pond outside or you have a fish tank on the, inside your home, is instead of using plastic plants and kind of artificial settings, they try to make it kind of like a little mini ecosystem. Right. Is one or better than the other, or do you have to clean the ones which are kind of natural in?
Yes, actually, each system will have a way of maintenance. So you must study first. I think some of the places they need artificial because they're not taking care of the plant, and the plant die, and then the water becomes bad. So I think, like I said, you need knowledge of the filtration system also if you want to have some fish. And you also need to know that there's diseases in fish that can be contacted to human.
Really?
Yes, it's the most important one that we talk about is so-called the fish tank disease. That comes from a pathogen called mycobacterium, which we call it like pseudo TB, something like that, because it will cause ulcer, the wound, the deep wound in your skin wherever you touch it. If your immune is not well, and this cannot be treated because it resistance to so many antibiotics, and this is a concern that we have as a so-called zoonosis. In Thai, the Thai word is like Vanaroktium, which is like tuberculosis, but it's not for respiratory; it's for skin. Wow. So this is a thing that when you take care of fish or whatever, you should clean your hand after. And look at, well, if your fish have some kind of suspicion, if some fish die, you open inside and you see white nodules. Looks like when you play with a toothbrush, have you done that when you were young? And spray like this, white spots inside the fish. Then you might want to send it to expert, and you have to be careful also. This is called a fish tank syndrome. But it's not that that's scary. It's just that if you have your immune system is not right, you have to be careful.
Wow.
Okay.
Did I scare you?
It's been a day of a lot of new information, but good information though. I think a lot of people didn't know.
I might want to add that if you go to the fish spa, this disease also, if they have it, you might want to be careful. We try to warn people that sometimes these kind of treatments needs to be regulated,
right?
Because a few diseases can be contacted from human that puts the feed in there to another human, and from fish and human.
Oh.
So fish spas, good or bad? Because at one time they were very, very popular, and now kind of gently receding.
Will I destroy the industry if I say something? But I would say for technical reason, we should be careful, because fish spa, actually the theory comes from Egypt, that this kind of fish has some mucus that can cure some diseases like psoriasis in human. That's why they started it. But later on, people kind of adapted and put tilapia, the fish tilapia in it, small tilapia, because they say it's sap. That means it's very tasty. It bites a little harder than the original fish, and things like that. So many kind of things that maybe the authority needs to walk in and help people with this.
So it's good with certain kinds of fish, but you can't always be sure what fish they're putting in the tank.
Right. And the fish needs to be clean, because otherwise, you're at risk.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like for whether we're talking about myth busting or we're talking about care of aquatic mammals or even our land-based animals, everything that you've been saying is you have to be knowledgeable, you have to be prepared, you have to do your research beforehand to make sure that you know how to care for it, what to look for.
Right. And now we have internet, So don't believe everything on the internet, but if you see that it's logical, then you should try to search more and read it.
Well, I think we've covered enough today. I know everyone at home is probably like, ooh, that's a lot of information to digest. We most certainly will have you back though, because the questions do not end. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Don't go away though, because we have plenty more coming up on So This is Thailand.
And this is another highlight of this boat cruising. This is a baby lampu tree.
Baby lampu tree, or newborn lampu area.
And it's a natural birth.
Yes,
So how could it happen like this?
because after 3 years that the community they stop for the cutting tree or the illegal fishing in this area. So after that, in 2005, the new lampu tree was growing up away from to the Ao Ban Don.
Yeah.
Approximately of the area 2,580 rice.
So what is the advantage of this happening?
Thirdly, is all of the area of the lampu tree is protecting the storm or this ether from the sea.
Yeah.
And the second thing is like the nursery for the marine life.
Oh, yeah. And then when they grow up, so they can swim there as a supermarket of the community.
That's correct.
And that's great that they can do by their own hands and follow the footsteps of His Majesty the King.
Yes.
This is the best way to experience the mangrove forest.
Indeed.
Here on the walkway. So how long is the walkway?
About 200 meters of the walkway. And you know, the community, they organize by their own hand to make this walkway. So the visitor can advantage for the mangrove forest to observe and education about the environment around the mangrove forest.
Apart from learning about environment here, so we can learn about way of life and as well culture. What are we having now?
We call in English Thai opera, but in the local part we call Like Pa.
Oh, so it's different from like in the city.
Yeah, because they just use a ordinary costume and just normal instrument to use in the local.
Yeah, but I mean, it sounds so wonderful.
The performers, they are the local people in this community.
Yeah, and they are old people. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go and see.
Come on.